finger feeling today? I know we just talked.
Feels good, thank you.
Are you still wearing any changes with it? Are you still wearing the same things? Plan to wear the glove on?
No changes with it so far.
So still glove and this Sunday?
I would assume so. I'm not quite sure. I think that's something to address during this week.
Good to have a short week this week after the way things went Monday?
Yeah, you always love to get back out there on the field, and unfortunate the way things went. Learned a lot from it, and we're going to have to get better because of it, but everyone showed up to work today, gave their best effort, and the guys are in their locker room. We trust these guys to show up and be professionals about it, so we're looking forward to another good week of practice.
What did you learn from it?
From what?
What did you learn from it?
We could be out here for a long time if you want to get into specifics. I unfortunately do not. But there are a lot of opportunities for big plays downfield, and kind of like we mentioned earlier, especially after the game, missed a couple passes, some plays that I'd love to have back, but there's nothing we can do about that now. And the goal, the mission for today is to be better than we were yesterday and to learn from those mistakes, get our bodies back. But there's a lot to look forward to.
Sorry if this has already been asked, but the Chiefs' defense seems like they're really clamping down this year. They're a young team, but they're playing really well. Just what have you noticed from them about the way Steve Spagnuolo kind of runs that defense?
Yeah, they're a very good defense. They've done a great job of forcing turnovers and getting after the passer. They are kind of, like you said, kind of young, but they don't play like it. They play like they're veterans all around the board, and they're really well coached. And when you have a group like that together, it's going to make for a really good defense.
Chris Jones is an inside guy, but he gets a lot of sacks and he pressures the quarterback consistently. Just what have you kind of seen from the way he's playing so far?
Yeah, I think one of the great things that they do is they can put him anywhere, whether it's inside, outside. He can rush from so many different spots, and definitely one of those guys that you have to be aware of wherever he's on the field.
Game and a half or so, the offense hasn't been as productive. If you go back to halftime, the second half of the Raider game, and then I know the pressure, we talked a lot, Staley, about the pressure on Monday night, but is there anything that you've noticed the last game and a half here, maybe what's caused you guys to slow down a little bit?
I think we just need to execute better. It starts with me, being able to complete balls and being able to get first downs, keep the ball moving, and if we're able to do that, I think we're a much more efficient offense. So, I think we just have to go out there and execute. The coaches are putting us in a position to win, to make plays, and it's on us.
On Monday, it was the fewest percentage of snaps in your career that you've played under center. Understand that's part with your hand, but how much does that, if at all, affect the overall operation of the offense?
I think one of the great things about our offense is being able to adapt and to adjust, and whether it's in the gun or whether it's under center, we're going to have a plan, and we felt like we did a good job of installing that and walking through that and preparing for the week. It didn't go our way during the game, but to be able to adapt and go to the gun as much as we did, I thought our offense did a great job handling that.
Justin, at least record-wise, are you and the team surprised, perplexed, where you are?
Sorry, what's the question?
Like unbelievable that you are where you are record-wise? Did you expect more, or are you surprised that this is where you're at this point?
This is the NFL. Tough things are going to happen, and it's all about how we react to it. So, there's nothing we can change about our record. I wouldn't say anyone is perplexed. I think that's the NFL, and the guys in the locker room showed up to work today, and they're going to give their best effort. They know that we've got a chance to play on Sunday. It's another opportunity to go play football, so we're going to have our best week of practice, preparation, and keep moving forward.
I understand you go against the Chiefs' defense, but do you look forward to these matchups against Patrick Mahomes?
I think they're always great opportunities. He's an incredible quarterback, and I've got so much respect for him as a quarterback and as their offense. So to be able to go up and play, it's always a great opportunity to watch great football.
Do you anticipate it's going to be another one-score game? That's all you guys have had between the two of you dating back to your career.
I think that's just a testament to the respect that we have for them. We know how special of a team they are, and it's going to take our best effort. And it starts today. It started yesterday. So for us to be able to show up and have a good week of practice, I think that's the most important thing.
Just understandably, you said no one's perplexed, but if the way the season has began is, I just wanted to follow up, is it's not just everyone's just. There's not any sense of urgency, right? Like, is there a frustration? Is there a sense of urgency because of where you're at, or?
there's a sense of urgency regardless of the week, whether it's week 1 or whether it's week 6 or 7. Guys are wanting to win, and I think that's the most important thing. But panicking isn't going to help anyone, and whether it's 0-5 or 2-3, panicking won't help. And so to understand that guys are showing up and they're going to give their best effort, and we're going to do everything we can to win this game, and that's the most important thing. And if you start looking forward or looking too far ahead, I think you lose your focus.
From one quarterback to another, you have great admiration for Patrick. Is there one thing when you watch him or seen him over the years, or you're like, wow, I wish I could do that, or that's really impressive? Is there something that stands out in his game?
I think he's done a great job making plays, and he's had so much success in the league. And whenever you turn the film on of him, he's gonna make plays. He's gonna find a way to move the chains, and whether it's a play that breaks down, he's great off his feet, great scrambling. So I got a lot of respect for him as a quarterback.
Just your guys' run game. What needs to happen for that to improve on Sunday?
I think we just got to trust our guys. We've got a great offensive line, and we've got some great tailbacks. And it might not have gone our way, but I know that we've got faith and we've got trust in those guys to be able to get the ball moving.
Do these Chiefs games hold any more weight? I know every game counts the same, but they're a team that's obviously dominated this division for a long time. Your guys' goal is to eventually topple them and win the AFC West. Do these games in that sense hold any more weight for you or your teammates?
I think that's a good way of looking at it. We've got so much respect for them as a team, and we understand, the great things that they've been able to accomplish over the past few years. And, that's the ultimate goal in the NFL, is to be able to win games and to be able to be consistent like that. And, it's always a great opportunity, kind of like we mentioned earlier. If, this is a team that we're going up against that requires all of our attention. We have to have a good week of practice, of preparation. We have to be dialed in all week to have any shot on Sunday.
Justin, you mentioned having a few throws you wish you had back on Monday night. So do those moments stay with you like Monday night? Are you laying in bed replaying those plays, or can you let that stuff go pretty easily?
I'm worried about throws from 4 or 5 years ago, unfortunately, and that's part of the position of quarterback. And I felt horrible for Keenan to be able to run 2 routes like that and to be able to miss him. It's tough, but I know that if I'm going to get that shot again, I'm going to make that throw, and I hope he believes that too. If we were having a full-on practice day, we'd be out here making those throws. So, it's unfortunate like that, but you got to learn from it and keep moving.
I just want to follow up on that. Learning to move on from those things as an individual, as a player, like how much of a process has that been for you over the course of your career, like, even starting in high school all the way to now, and how much better do you feel like you are now at sort of turning the page, if at all?
It's incredibly tough. It's part of the game, unfortunately, and I wish it were never to happen, but unfortunately mistakes are going to be made, and I missed those 2 throws, and the important thing for me is to move on and to understand that, hey, we got to be realistic, we got to be critical, and understand that I can make those plays. I know that I can make that throw. We've done that before, and to be able to move on and understand that it's always about the next play, not to let that one affect your next one, and I feel like we've done a good job of that over the past couple of years.
Justin, with this being a division game, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs coming off a mini bye and you guys going into it on a short week?
It's part of the NFL. That's the way things happen, and whether you're coming off a Monday or whether you're going on to a bye, you don't have any control of the schedule. And we can sit here and complain, or we can, get our bodies back and do everything we can to have our best week of practice, regardless of the situation. And I think that's one of the great things that our team has been able to handle as well.
What do you like about playing at Arrowhead?
It's always a fun environment. The fans are great there, and it's such a great opportunity to play football. It's one that you always dream of, and going into a place like that, it's always a great opportunity.
Kind of a random question here, so bear with me. But there's been a couple scrambles over the last 2 games where you've sort of been running toward the sideline, sort of at the last minute, cut up field, and maybe looked like the defender felt like you were going to slide. When you're in those situations, are you trying to take advantage of the fact that defenders might maybe be expecting you to slide to get a couple of extra yards up the sideline, at the end of the scrambles?
I don't think it's more so of a deception tactic. I think it's more so a reading body language, and if I feel like there's room for me to maybe get upfield, or maybe room for me not to get tackled and to avoid a hit, I think that's always important. I don't think I'm trying to deceive anyone or trying to fake a slide or fake going out of bounds. I think if I have space and I don't necessarily need to cut out of bounds, I'm able to turn upfield and get a couple more yards. I think that's huge for our offense.
It's more as I was getting at, like if you're actually looking at the defender to see sort of if he, like, reading his body language effectively.
Yeah.
What were there any challenges on Sunday with playing with your finger at all, other than going under center?
Yeah, just understanding that I didn't have great use of it. I think that's pretty important for playing quarterback.
What are some of those things, if you could share, like what are some of those things that were problematic or not normal for you?
Probably just a lack of mobility, a lack of being able to flex it or really use it in gripping the football.
Is it something like when you move it, does it hurt? Like, is it like kind of injury? Like sometimes injuries throb, or like moving it at all can hurt it. Is it like only touching the football, or can you kind of just describe?
I mean, it doesn't feel good.
Ever?
No, not really. I mean, it is what it is. It's a broken finger, and I'm going to do everything I can to be able to minimize the movement and minimize the damage to it. But I felt like I was safe going out there, and I thought the athletic trainers did a great job preparing me and getting me ready to go.
Like you don't know how much you need a finger until it's hurt.
Yeah, I think all your fingers are pretty important, but I was kind of thankful that it is the left hand, so it's not necessarily on the right hand. But I felt safe heading out there.